my God, my body. Like sour gummies mixed with a Tootsie Roll. I struggle to drink anything. Just get me home so I can have a chicken quesadilla. How long do you think you can drink this past the expiration date? Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. We're doing another training vlog today. I'm doing this one a little bit different than my last two training vlogs though, because I had to take a slight hiatus this week from exercise in general. So ever since I wore those Brooks shoes on, I believe it was my first training vlog, and I started getting like that Achilles pain and the toe pain, I developed / redeveloped a heinous ingrown toenail. I've definitely had this ingrown toenail for probably 3 years, and I've just like managed it kind of on my own, just like clipping the surface, but I never actually got into the ingrown toenail, and I had to do it. I gouged out the ingrown toenail. I don't necessarily recommend that, but I just could not wait to get into like a podiatrist to actually like get rid of it. I've only had one instance where my ingrown toenail got infected after I attempted removal, so this time I was super cautious about it. I got the entire thing out. It was the most gratifying thing of my life, like way more gratifying than pimple popping, if you're a pimple popper, you know what I mean. But it was, yeah, it was amazing. It instantly felt better, but because it was a very deep wound, because I'm not even joking, like the ingrown toenail was at least 1 centimeter long. I took pictures of it. It was so long. And it was kind of like a bloody scene. So I decided to take a couple days off until the wound actually like closed before I sweat at all into that area. I also didn't want to go to solid core because I don't wear socks at solid core, and I didn't want like an open wound again on the Pilates machine, or like exposed to other people / other people's feet exposed to mine. It was just, you know, we're taking precautions for infection purposes for myself and for others. So I've had it wrapped in antibiotic ointment and like, you know, all of this stuff, but I have not ran since Sunday, and today is Saturday. So it's been almost an entire week that I have not exercised, and I was super excited because my toe was feeling great yesterday. This morning I woke up and I was like, okay, I can run today. Like I can feel it. I don't have any pain in my toe. The wound is pretty healed. We're good to go. But then I got really nauseous and kind of like sick. So I have been trying to kind of calm that this morning, and I'm finally feeling better. And I just think I need to like get outside and move my body. So I'm gonna take the dogs for a walk first, then kind of circle back and see how I feel. But I'm determined to do some amount of running today and to get back on track, because this definitely was a little bit of a setback this week. I figured I could at least take you guys along for a couple days of training. I don't know how long this is going to end up being, because I don't know if I'm going to end up doing like just 2 days, today and tomorrow, and then do my regular Monday off. I'm going to kind of see how these 2 runs feel, and then I'll determine if I actually need a rest break on Monday or not. But that's kind of the plan for at least the next 2 days, is just to get in some amount of running and see how the toe feels, see how everything else feels, and go from there. But now we're gonna go on a nice little walk with the doggies. It is gorgeous outside. It's like 55 degrees, so it's super nice. I have on shorts, my John G. Sun hoodie, and then this is a Lululemon zip up that I got recently. And I just feel like they're all like nice light layers that are just gonna be perfect for a little walk. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna try out a new pair of shoes today. And by new, I mean I've had these shoes for at least 2 years, but I have not ran in them recently. These are Ultras. They are one of their zero drop shoes, and they're like the high cushioned ones. I will link them down below because I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they're the highest cushion ones that they have come out with recently. So I'm gonna try these ones and just kind of see how they feel for the walk. I'm specifically trying these because they have a wide toe box, and I want to make sure that my toe is not getting squished, obviously. So we're gonna pull these back out and see how they feel. My mom watched one of the videos where I was talking about shoes, and she was like, if you don't want any shoes, please give them to me. So I'm determined to kind of go through my collection and see what shoes I actually want and what ones I don't want, and I can give them to her. So yeah, we're just gonna try these ones out. I did have the runner's loop in these last time, I can tell. The runner's loop is just like a heel locking lacing technique that you can do if you feel like your heel is pistoning out of the back. But I'm gonna try it without that today, just to kind of see how they feel. These could use a little bit of a wash as well. The other thing I'm curious is that I bought these in a size 9, and I've recently been buying my tennis shoes in a 9.5 just because I want a little bit more room. So I'm curious to see kind of how these are going to fit. They have made me quite a bit taller, which I'm not mad about. They do feel comfy, but I feel like I can tell that these are a 9 and not a 9.5. That's kind of weird, but anyways, we're gonna give these a try. My toes feel like they have lots of room to spread out, so that's good. But let's go for a little jaunt, see how the tummy feels, see how the shoes feel, and then hopefully we'll get to go out for a run. It's a couple hours later. I've eaten lunch. I laid down a bit. I read my book and I need to go for my run now. I don't want to, but I don't know why I don't want to. I still associate running with like this intense amount of physical exertion. When I would go for a run before, it was incredibly taxing, like physically, mentally. I felt so exhausted afterwards. But now when I run, I actually feel like more energized after I run and I feel really good. I need to like remind myself that and just create like a new memory pattern so that I stop associating running with suffering, because that's not the case. Obviously, when you're doing an ultra or some really long distance, or if you're just not having a good day, then yeah, it can be a sufferfest, but it's an intentional sufferfest, right? Something we do to ourselves. So I do need to just be better about planning my days out on the weekends. I know I've talked about that before. I have not made any steps to actually do that quite yet, so maybe that's something I should do after I run, is like time block my day tomorrow and just kind of plan out everything that I plan on doing. I've had a little bit of caffeine. I was very tired. I have not been sleeping well this week. I need to also get better about sleeping better during the week, because I really only get like 5 hours to 6 hours of sleep on my work days. And I know that that like compounds, and then I'm really tired on the weekends. So we have some things to work on. In my same outfit, it's still quite, I wouldn't say it's like chilly, but it's not hot, which I'm kind of happy about. So I think I'm just gonna stay in this. This is my John G. Sun hoodie, and then I have on these Lulu. They are the Hottie Hot shorts, I believe. They're like the ones with like the thick band on the front. I've not ran in these in a long time, so I'm curious to see kind of how they work, like if they ride up or, you know, all that kind of stuff. On my walk, when I was wearing the Ultra shoes, and I believe they're the Olympus. That name just came to me. I think they're the Olympus shoes. They were not super comfortable, so I think I am gonna pass those along to my mom. They weren't like uncomfortable, but they were a little bit stiff for my preference for walking or running or just any kind of tennis shoe. I do like how wide the toe box is though, so I could see myself potentially trying a different Ultra in the future, a different Ultra type in the future. In the past, I've really liked the Torrens, so maybe I'll go back to those. Anywho, I'm gonna wear my trusty dusty Asics Gel Nimbus, I think, just because I want to make sure my toe is nice and squished in a good way. You know, it has like not a lot of padding underneath it. I have nothing else to say. I need to get outside and run. Run is done. I felt really good the entire run. I think that was the fastest I've ever ran 5 miles, which makes me so happy. When I'm feeling like I don't want to go for a run, I need to like remember this feeling. You know, I need to remember that I felt really good on my run. Actually, my legs didn't even really feel that heavy. I do think part of it's just because I've taken, you know, quite a few days off of running. Yeah, I felt really good. So tomorrow we're gonna go for a longer run. I think I might try to do 7 or 8 miles. We'll kind of see how we feel tomorrow morning. But I have been getting pretty sore after my runs, and I've noticed that the days that I take creatine, or that I remember to mix it in with water and stuff, I feel so much better. So I thought I would make like a little mixed water situation with some other stuff that I dug out of my cabinet that I forgot that I had. These are all supposed to be like recovery type things. So this is the Thorne creatine. When I was going through a bunch of my health stuff, I went to an endocrinologist to get some testing done, and he recommended Thorne for any kind of like supplement stuff. They're very good, like science-backed brand, so I've just been buying Thorne stuff from now on. And then I have this Alani BCAA. It's like a recovery drink basically, but it's for muscle recovery, endurance, and hydration. I have this in the shade. I have this in the flavor sour gummies, so we're gonna do this. I typically don't drink BCAAs. I know a lot of people do, but oh, that smells weird. It kind of smells like sour gummies mixed with a Tootsie Roll. Okay, let's make water. Then I'm going to shower, and I think we're gonna grill out tonight. Make some chicken and maybe like a salad or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Say that tastes like a sour gummy. Does this have an expiration date? December of 2025. How long do you think you can drink this past the expiration date? Hey guys, it's Sunday. I'm just getting ready for my long run. It is currently 3:13, so I'm hoping to get out of here before 3:30. I'm filling up some of my flasks right now and getting some of my nutrition all set up. I am a little bit nervous for this run, obviously, because it's like the longest run that I've done in this training cycle. I have run a half marathon before, but I didn't run the entire thing, and that was also a trail run. So I'm kind of trying to see like how far my legs can take me today. I actually don't feel really sore at all from yesterday, which is amazing, because last time I did 6 miles last week, I was like really sore after. So I definitely think the BCAAs and the creatine helped a lot with that. So I'm definitely gonna do that again today when I get home. But I'm gonna put in some electrolytes. It's another really nice day out, so I'm not sure that I'm gonna sweat a whole lot, but we're gonna do this at the very least to just entice me to drink water. I am on a GLP-1, if you didn't know, and I struggle to drink anything besides coffee and caffeine. It's really the only symptom of a GLP-1 that I've had is just like not being thirsty. And when I mean like not being thirsty, I mean like I don't ever crave water, and even when I do crave water, like when I'm thirsty, I don't want to drink it. It's a very weird feeling, but it is not uncommon amongst people who've been on a GLP-1. Speaking of that, I have not taken mine today. I gotta do that when I get home. I don't like taking it before I run, just in case something happens. These are my current favorite electrolytes. These are the Waterboy Workout Hydration electrolytes. I put the fruit punch one in here. I feel like I didn't finish my thought process before when I was talking about not being thirsty, but the other thing I'm a little bit nervous about is just that I have not eaten a ton today. I had breakfast, but I didn't really have like a solid lunch. I just kind of was snacking, and I really don't want to like eat something right before, because remember what happened last time when I ate something right before my run. We're not doing that again. Pro tip to prevent molding in your hydration flasks: put them in the freezer after you wash them. I heard that on Instagram, and ever since then I've been doing it, and it has been truly a lifesaver. Okay, this entire flask just leaked. That's great. Why? Okay, for fuel, I'm bringing some Sour Patch watermelons, and then these are just some That's It apples and mangoes fruit bars. I'm kind of trying to stray away from the typical nutrition stuff, like, you know, gels and fruit snack type things, just partially because they're really expensive and I feel like I get the same nutrient benefits from like fruit snacks, you know? I don't know. I'm just trying to play around with different food sources. The other thing was that when I was previously running like 2 years ago, I didn't always have the best luck gut-wise with them. The ones I know that never bothered my stomach were the Huma gels. Those ones were great, so I probably should put in an order for those from Amazon. But candy doesn't always sit well with me either, so this is a little bit of a gamble. I did this last week and I was fine. I didn't have any issues. So I know that this is safe again for this week, but yeah, we're gonna try these fruit bars. Maybe I should do like a whole video of like trying Costco nutrition sources for running or something like that. I think that would be really fun because it can get so expensive to do those gels and everything, especially if you're doing really intense long runs more frequently. Like the longer I'm gonna get into my training, the more I'm gonna have to fuel. I could see that getting a little bit expensive. Don't want that. I'm gonna do the same shoes that I wore yesterday because they just felt good. That was so hard, but we did it. 8 miles, done, and I ran the whole time. Oh my God, my body. I need to stand up straight, hold on. Wait, no, first I'm gonna make myself my recovery drink. Let's do that first. Okay, let's recap that run a little bit. Well, first of all, I forgot to take my inhaler. So I had to come back after I ran like a quarter mile, take my inhaler, and then I also changed into a tank top, which I'm so happy I did that. Oh my gosh, this run would have been incredibly hot if I had not changed. So I'm really happy that I changed. And then I felt like pretty good the first mile. Then I felt really good for miles like 2 through 5.5, and then at 5.5 I knew I was like, okay, I need to get to 6, and then I'm gonna eat my little gummies because I knew I needed like a kick. And then 6 to 8 was really hard. That was really, really hard. It was just like mentally a struggle, and physically my legs were feeling really, really tired. And actually my breathing was pretty good, so I was happy with that, but it was just my legs, they felt really tired and my feet started to really bother me. Pretty sure I'm getting a blister on my not ingrown toenail foot. And then my ingrown toenail foot was starting to bother me just a little bit. Yeah, my toes were just like starting to hurt. So I know that that's gonna get better as I run more and as I just, you know, train and adapt to it. But yeah, that was pretty uncomfortable towards the end. But I am super proud of myself because, first of all, this is the first time I've run 8 miles consecutively without really stopping. The only time I stopped was when I had to eat because I did try to run a little bit while I was eating, but that's like hard for me to eat, breathe, and run. So I had a little bit of difficulty with that, but I also took a couple like standing breaks while I was drinking water. I think I only took like 2 of those and they were maybe 10 seconds. I was getting like some neck pain, like trying to like suck it out of my bottle. Yeah, whatever. So I'm pretty proud of that. I think that's really good considering where I came from. The other thing I'm really proud of is I kept my pace under 12 minutes. My average pace was 11:40. My last mile was my fastest mile because I was like, get me home. I think that was 11:20. Maybe it wasn't my fastest mile, but it was faster than my average pace, which I was like, boom. And then on top of that, I have ran 13 miles in 24 hours, which that's probably why I'm feeling like so fatigued with my muscles and whatnot, especially having the week but prior to that be like a rest week because of my toe. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I feel like this run overall went really well. I am feeling pretty sore right now, so I'm really hoping that this concoction brings me back to life. I did end up eating at mile 3 and mile 6, which is around like 35-ish minutes in between eating. I think part of the reason I felt so destroyed in the last 2 miles is just because of my nutrition. I need to be better about eating like well-balanced meals. I basically just had popcorn and pretzels for lunch. Like, that was not a good idea. So I need to be a little bit more strategic about that. But that's the recap for this run. I think Dalton is going to make chicken quesadillas for dinner on the grill, which I am so excited about. I literally was thinking about that the entire run. I'm like, just get me home so I can have a chicken quesadilla. And then I plan on basically doing nothing the rest of the day, which I'm very happy about. So this is another reason I run at night, because after a run, I like to go to bed. Like, I don't want to have to do a whole day's worth of stuff after I run. I want to just go to bed. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read. I'm in a bit of a reading slump, which I'm a little bit upset about. I don't really know what's going on. I feel like I just have not found the right book to read. So maybe we can do that tonight, just like find a new book to read. But for now, I'm gonna go take a shower because I'm stanky. Okay, so it's been a couple days, potentially an entire week. I can't remember the last time I updated you guys. I have acquired a toe infection, which I think everybody, including myself, saw coming. Basically, I pulled out an ingrown toenail last week, and then I took a couple days off running to try to let it heal. And then I went running again, and I think some of my sweat caused a bacterial infection that I now have in my toe. So we're on antibiotics. I'm instructed not to exercise slash sweat slash any high impact activity for at least a week. She did say ideally like the whole entire toe would be, you know, healed prior to that. So I think I'm at least gonna wait until all of the skin and everything, this sounds disgusting. I'm at least gonna wait until like the actual wound is healed and I have like no excessive swelling or redness. So potentially could be over a week. I'm really bummed. I'm kind of mad at myself. Should have just gone to a podiatrist. Although if I went to a podiatrist, I still would have needed to likely take antibiotics and also take a couple weeks off of running. So I think in any case, I needed to get this ingrown toenail removed because it was incredibly painful. And whichever route I took, I would have needed to take some time off of running. That being said, because I have such a lofty goal of wanting to run an ultramarathon, I am gonna have to see kind of where my fitness is at later in the summer. We might need to pivot a little bit in terms of the race that I was planning on. I have not signed up for it specifically for this reason, because I didn't know, you know, what was gonna happen over the summer. I have never done a race like this before, and I just wanted to get a little bit farther into the season to kind of see how my fitness was gonna be, how I was gonna feel, and if I was actually gonna follow through with this. So I think we're still gonna be training, we're still gonna be attempting to run an ultramarathon, but I don't know if it's necessarily gonna happen this fall. We might have to extend the date a little bit. Yeah, we've had a little bit of a setback. So that's the update for this video. I'm bummed, but I'm not gonna stop trying to reach this goal. This is a goal that I have been wanting now for 2 years, so it's gonna happen at some point, maybe just not in the time frame that I was hoping for. So that's totally fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I just wanted to pop on and give you guys a little bit of an update about why there's no more running footage for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the 2 runs that you got out of this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!